You're after a mid-size SUV under 60k and your mind is made up. You've been all over the 20-odd competitors in one of the most competitive segments in the Aussie new car market. Along the way, hybrid power has become a top priority, but you don't want a plug-in. So as it has for thousands of others, Toyota's RAV4 Hybrid has risen to the top of the list. But you could be waiting 18 months, even 2 years, to get your hands on one. And this car has arrived, the Nissan X-Trail ePower Hybrid. Is this car capable of making you think twice about that 18-month wait? Let's find out. I won't linger too much on design. The new 4th generation X-Trail arrived here only a few months ago. Managing editor Tim Nicholson covered the range on video. There's a link on the screen now and in his written review on the CarsGuide site. Plus you can take it in as the video progresses. The only things distinguishing this car from its combustion-only equivalents are some minor external trim changes and some badge work. ePower on the side, back here, and eForce over here, which denotes all-wheel drive, which we'll get to next. This is where the X-Trail ePower and its arch nemesis, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, head down distinctly different paths. Toyota uses a series parallel setup, which means the electric motor will power the wheels only in certain situations, typically at low speeds, with the petrol engine doing the work most of the time. Nissan's ePower system has twin electric motors powering the wheels at all times. This 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbo-petrol engine only ever sends DC charge to the battery and AC charge to the inverter, with drive in turn going to 2 electric motors, one on each axle, hence eForce all-wheel drive. For all the details, go to my written review on the site, but suffice it to say, there's plenty of power and heaps of torque, and we'll get to that in the driving section. The engine's tricky variable compression ratio tech also helps balance power and efficiency. The X-Trail is offered in 4 grades, and this ePower powertrain is available on the top 2. The TI at around $54,000 and the TIL at just under $57K. That's a $4,200 premium over their combustion-only equivalents. Once you've crossed the 50K threshold, you should rightfully expect a decent basket of standard fruit. And the TI comes to the party with 19-inch alloy wheels, a panoramic sunroof, 3-zone climate control, a powered tailgate, a 10.8-inch head-up display, and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, as well as a 12.3-inch multimedia touchscreen with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support, as well as built-in sat-nav and a wireless smartphone charger. Step up to the TIL, and the steering wheel will be heated. Audio is a 10-speaker Bose system. There's Napa leather trim on the seats and elsewhere, plus there are rear sunshades, heated rear seats, and remote engine start. Pretty impressive in this part of the market. This car is less than 4.7 metres long overall, but there's plenty of breathing space up front and plenty of storage too. There are bins in the doors with enough space for bottles, and you've got cup holders, 2 of them, in the centre console. As well as that, there's a lidded bin between the seats, which of course doubles as an armrest, and you've got a decent glove box over here too. There's also USB-A, USB-C, a 12-volt outlet, wireless charging. There's plenty going on. It's very good up front here. So, into the back, and the first thing you notice is that door opens to nearly 90 degrees, which makes entry super easy. And once inside, you've got plenty of headroom, even though there's a panoramic roof up here. Knee room, foot room, and in fact, this seat will slide if you want more cargo space, or back if you need more for rear passengers. There's also sun blinds in the windows, bins in the side door for bottles. There's more USB down here, A and C, individual control for the 3-zone climate control. Pull this little toggle, and a centre armrest comes down, a slot for a phone, cup holders. There are map pockets in the back here. People in the rear should be pretty happy. Both the TI and the TIL have a power tailgate, and it's hands-free on the TIL. There's loads of room. With all 5 seats up, there's close to 600 litres of cargo volume. Put that split folding rear seat down and you're at around 2,000 litres, which is heaps. The loading lip is nice and low, and there are tie-down anchors to keep loads secured when you need to. As I mentioned before, drive goes to 2 electric motors, courtesy of a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbo-petrol engine acting as a generator. Now you'll get the full 525 Newton meters of torque from step-off, and Nissan claims you'll go 0 to 100 km/h in 7 seconds, which is pretty rapid. The interesting thing about the petrol engine is it delivers revs in a linear fashion, in line with accelerator position and road speed. It feels like a quiet petrol engine car with the urgent acceleration and smoothness of an EV. Sport mode lives up to its name, and the EV only mode suppresses the engine so that it kicks in later. You've only got a couple of Ks at most of EV only running. Transmission is via a single reduction gear on both axles. Suspension is strut front, multi-link rear, and it's quiet thanks to active noise suppression in the cabin. It's actually quite serene in here. In terms of ergonomics, the dash layout is a good one. There's a sensible mix of on-screen functions and physical dials and buttons. You've got a big media screen in the centre, digital instrumentation and a head-up display. And these seats prove comfortable even after hours behind the wheel. The side doors, front guards and bonnet are all made out of aluminium to save weight. Still, the car weighs 1.9 tonnes, but it doesn't feel it. It sits on the same chassis as the CarsGuide, and the powertrain system is able to shift drive from front to rear, even side to side, in 1/10,000th of a second. It's virtually instantaneous. There's torque vectoring by braking going on. It's like a swan moving serenely across the lake, but its legs furiously paddling underneath. It felt really balanced and stable in twisting corners, and look, the steering connection is pretty good too. Of course, there's regenerative braking, and it's on both axles with the aim of keeping the car flat as it's slowing down. Press the E pedal button and you're getting much more retardation, although it won't bring the car to a full stop as with the Leaf. There was customer feedback that particularly in slow manoeuvres, parking type things, people preferred not to be coming to a full halt all the time. And the interesting thing also is at certain times, the mechanical brakes will support the regenerative braking, and the brake pedal sort of drops away a little bit to be in the right position for when you want to actually physically apply the brakes. Nissan's official fuel consumption figure for the X-Trail ePower on the combined cycle is 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres. Toyota's RAV4, even with a larger 2.5 litre petrol engine, is more frugal at 4.8 litres per 100 kilometres. Over the roughly 270 kilometre launch drive, which took in urban areas, some twisting B roads and open highway sections, we averaged 6.8 litres per 100 kilometres. Nissan says it chose this hybrid configuration because the car drives more like an EV, that is, smoothly and quietly, rather than a predominantly petrol car with a CVT. It's an interesting point of difference, and your priorities will determine if the extra consumption is a deal breaker or not. Nissan is right on the pace when it comes to safety tech, and the X-Trail is no exception. It scored a maximum 5 ANCAP stars when it was assessed on arrival last year. Active crash avoidance systems include Nissan's smart rear view monitor, adaptive high beams and automatic wipers, as well as autonomous emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control and more. There are 7 airbags on board, including full-length curtains and a front centre bag to minimise head clash injuries in the case of a side impact. Read my review for all the details. Nissan Australia covers the X-Trail with a market-standard 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, with roadside assistance included for the duration. Service is required every 12 months, 10,000 kilometres, the latter way shorter than the more common 20,000 kilometres. Cap price servicing is available over a 3, 4 or 5-year period, with the dollars more or less matching equivalent pure combustion models. That is, $457 over 3 years, $485 over 4 years,
and $470 over 5 years. Pay as you go is $508 per year for the first 6 years. That's not particularly cheap.
About that 18-month wait for the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. I'd recommend experiencing this car before you make the call. Nissan has gone down a different and really interesting hybrid path, creating a car that has all the best attributes of an EV with the personality of an internal combustion car. Yeah, it gives some ground in terms of economy and ownership costs, but impresses with its refinement, safety and practicality. I think it measures up well, and if you want all the details, go to my written review on the CarsGuide site. Matinee!